Okay, what's up, everybody? What's up, YouTube? How's it going? So right now, I'm trying to do this video because I've been trying to do the live videos on my Patreon account, which is an account I set up because I draw and I have some of my artwork on there that I've been doing recently. Some of it is for sale, but the purpose of this video is just a few thoughts of mine that I would like to share. So one of the first things that I would like to share is how how it is, once you come home from being in prison, and this is just based off of my experience, not on anyone else's or something that I've been told or I heard. This is based solely off of my own personal experience with having to come home after all that time in prison, like almost 9 years. It was actually 8 years and 9 months, so that's long enough. So with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. You know, prison does something to you mentally. It is a place that it's supposed to rehabilitate people, which it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't is because they don't have a lot of programs that are designed to help people. And being in a situation like that causes, a lot of stress, unnecessary stress on people. It takes away from your livelihood because you're in a place and in a situation that you don't have any control over because once you're inside of um, their facility, you're pretty much state property. You're seen as a number. You're not necessarily seen as a person. It doesn't matter the crime that you committed or accused of committing. You're just pretty much seen as a number. You're going to be talked to any kind of way, and that does something to a person's mental. You know, you're not going to be stable because you don't have the right counseling, the right type of support when you're inside. And, counseling is a very important thing to have because being in prison does, add more trauma to the trauma that a person may have already experienced because a good percentage of the people that are incarcerated in the Georgia state prisons and the women's facilities, most of them were victims of domestic disputes and things of that nature. And with all of that happening, no one ever took the time out to see them as the victim. Instead, they became the defendant, um, just due to the fact that the judicial system don't want to see women as a victim. A woman is actually looked down upon in our great state, great country, whatever however you want to put it. And that is very crazy because women have a lot of power and a lot of people don't necessarily um, really speak about it, but women are able to actually handle things a lot better than men in most cases. And I'm okay with saying that because it's true. But the thing is, once you're, in these type of situations and you don't have any type of support or anyone that you can actually go to and speak to about whatever it is that you're going through mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever it is, if you can't reach out to another person and talk to you, that kind of builds. And if you don't have that outlet, you're just pulling all of that negativity into you with no place to release it, and that's what people really need. That's how a lot of the violence happens inside because the people on the inside don't have any type of outlet to release that in a safe and positive way. Not that it can't happen, because it can. They just don't necessarily give you the tools to help to cope with those things. And once a person is released from that environment, they're pretty much sent back out into the world with no coping skills, unless they acquire some on their own, which would take a lot of reading and just pretty much being in tune with their inner self. Um, so yeah, that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of crazy, but you know the thing is, it's true. So I don't know. I just think that they need to have something in place to they pretty much need to have something in place to where people can get the help and the support that they need, because if not, then it's just gonna, it's not gonna end that cycle. And it's a cycle because a lot of trauma happens in childhood to a lot of people, and when it's not properly taken care of, when it happens or around that time, then it just continues to build, and it's something that a person will carry with them throughout life, and not knowing necessarily how to uh, get the help they need, or how to express whatever it is that they're feeling or thinking, then they tend to become, some people become violent. Some people just cut off all communication with other people, because they don't necessarily know how to cope and how to uh, have healthy relationships with other people, because they didn't have any healthy relationships growing up. And that's something that really needs to be talked about. But people don't want to talk about those things, because it was a thing growing up for a lot of people, to where whatever happens in this house stays in this house. And let's not talk about that. We're gonna get past it. And they pretend like it never happened, when in fact it did happen. And if they would have done something about it, they could have ended that cycle, because you have to think about it. It don't just start with that one child. Maybe the mother or the father grew up in a household similar to their own, to where verbal abuse or physical abuse, sexual abuse happened, and no one done anything about it. So then they in turn inflict that same thing onto their kids or their grandkids. And people wonder why that continually happens. Is because no one wants to openly speak about it and talk about it, and try to figure out what it is that we as a people need to do different, to let each other know that, hey, it's okay to talk about things when things happen. It's okay to say how you feel. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be sad, to feel hurt. It's okay for all those things. It's just, at some point in time, you have to realize that not only is it okay to talk about it, it's okay to process it, because you're going to have to process those things at your own time, and at a pace that is good for you. And it's knowing that just because bad things happen doesn't mean that you brought those things onto yourself. Um, you know, the saying is, hurt people hurt people, and a lot of the times that is very true. But then sometimes people, as they get older, or as they learn more and get out and pretty much branch out and learn more things, they realize that just because I was hurt at one point doesn't mean I have to inflict that same pain and hurt on another person, because what it done to me, I know it wasn't right. I didn't like it, so I'm going to do my best not to do that to another person. So it's just a point of growing and maturing, and a lot of people don't know that, when whether it's sexual abuse, physical abuse, whatever age that happens at for a person or a child, they're pretty much stuck at that age, because they don't matured past that because of that trauma, and by that trauma going untreated and not talked about and not properly processed, that's gonna cause more and more problems down the line. So it's just knowing that when it happens, it's things that you can do. It's people you can talk to, and it's that big fear of, well, if I say something, then somebody's going to be mad. And for kids, it's like you don't want your kids to have to go through that. um, I know I wouldn't want my kids to go through that. If anything happens, you have to let them know that, hey, it's okay to talk to me about whatever it is that's going on. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to have your back. I'm going to do whatever it is that I can do to protect you and to make you feel safe. It's just you have to be completely honest with me and let me know what's going on so things don't, you know, spiral out of control. Like a lot of these, you know, younger girls that people are like, oh, well, she's so fast and she's this and she's that. Well, it was something that had to happen for her to be so fast, as you want to call it, because it doesn't just happen. People like, oh, she just grown. No, something had to happen to that baby. It was a point in time where that baby reached out to you for help and you ignored it. You done nothing about it. Or when they, stop listening, not making the right grades in school, they're being less active or being overactive sometimes. I mean, it's different signs, so you really just have to, pay attention to the signs so you will know and see what it is that's going on. That way, you can do what it is that you need to do to kind of to fix that, to make it better, so you don't have to worry about all those other things down the line. Because it's ways to prevent things, and if you don't catch it before it happens, then it's ways that you can pretty much do damage control. Oh no, this is just my thoughts on just whatever. Because I'm a thinker apparently. I sit in my office and I think. I look at those two lights in the back and I think, because it's a lot going on. It's a lot that needs to be talked about that no one's willing to talk about. And I just figure, hey, I'm going to talk about it because that's what I do. I say the things that you really want to say but can't say. I say it and I don't have a filter. And I don't feel bad about saying those things either, because the truth is the truth. You don't have to like it at all, but it's not going to change the fact that that's what it is. So that's just that. Those are my thoughts. And just want to say thank you for tuning in. Till next time, be safe.